Welcome back to Friday 50-50.
Hello, Jam.
Hello, Danielle. Right, we're going to do performance management with Grayson before we do anything else today.
He's had a big night.
He's had a big night. He's had a big week. They're getting bigger, not smaller.
Yep.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
I can't really. He's lovely.
Growing up, adulting. He's
A lot
doing
of
some
that going on.
adulting.
But he's not just adulting. He's gone like super spectacular adulting where there's like 18-hour days and
Yeah.
it's been a big leap.
Big leap.
So it's all right. I told him I was going to throw something across the room because I liked play acting, but I didn't. Before we were talking about that, we were talking about my hair, which is a constant risk in this because, of course, you know, signature hair and all that. I'm going to cut it off one day, but it's always got a bit hanging down, bit stuck in my earring. Then I play with it. Then we go, we can't use that because my hair's in my earring. So I'm not wearing earrings today.
Oh,
Lower
yes.
the risk.
Well done. Well done.
And actually, I also wanted to mention my hair just because I had to give a shout out to Annalise down at Salon Express in Midland because you know when someone has a passion for their work, like Grayson,
Yes.
they have that love of their work and then they do a really good job. And I walked in and said, okay, I want to wash and blow dry. And she said, oh, my favourite. And then from then on, just the love and passion. She's like, do you want a tight curl if we brush it out? You know, we don't want the curls to drop. And she was a real cutie pie. So,
Wow.
Yeah. And
Shout
I like it.
out.
It's nice. Shout out.
Love people who are
Good
passionate.
girl. Good girl.
Yeah.
Before we were talking about that, because, of course, we talked about heaps of stuff before we started, I was asking you if you saw the Robert Irwin Bonds ad,
And
which
I
you
did
haven't
not.
seen
Yes.
yet. Grayson, give me a thumbs up if you've seen the Robert Irwin. No. So he's super
He's
hot.
so busy, he doesn't have time to
Oh,
watch
that's
things
true.
anymore.
He's not watching Robert Irwin. So he's really hot, right? And it's a fantastic ad. He's sitting in an Australian backyard with an Australian washing line and he's got a snake around him and a tarantula on his leg. And
Oh, no way.
he's built beautifully, right? And anyway, I shared it on my private Facebook group because I said, look at the comments on the ad because all these women are going, I'm having feelings. Is that right? I've known him since he was in a nappy. And I was saying to you, I always get that feeling at the football because, of course, the footballers are hot. They always remind me of stallions because they're so muscular and fit and beautiful.
Yes.
But they, you know, they're not only my children, they could be my grandchildren if I came from the right suburb. You know, like
Let's
if
not
we've
do
got
that math.
if we got started early, I'm like, I think that's actually inappropriate feelings I'm having. So then I go, good boys, and yell out, good boy, to try and feel better about my enjoyment of them, put it that way. But yeah, Robert's very enjoyable
Really?
in this
I'll
ad.
have to go and-
Lovely.
I'll have to
really
go and look.
nice. Yeah, have a
For
look.
podcast purposes? I don't know.
Yeah, research.
Research.
Research. Someone on one of the comments said, I think I'm going to have to watch this a few times just to make sure I see whether it's Robert Irwin or not. So, yeah, anyway, so we're all tired as usual. Grayson is, I am. Are you?
Yes.
What's going on, man? It's in the ether. Well, Grayson, we know why.
Yeah, he's working hard.
He
He even
is
forgot to turn the
working hard.
lights on today.
I know. I was
We
going to call him
nearly
out,
didn't
but
have
you
the
did.
hair glow.
You want to list all the problems? Because now that you've opened the door, nah, I won't. He's too good. He's too
Can't
good.
not have the hair glow.
Well, the hair has to glow. It's so funny when I say to anyone, oh, you're so beautiful, they always say, well, you've got great hair.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, that's
Really?
always what I get. I go, oh, you look gorgeous. They go, yeah, so does your hair. And I go, what is happening here? Speaking of best not to focus on. So, okay, we're all tired. Good news for us, not to show off, we're off to Bali.
Ooh.
So that's the place to go when you're tired.
Is that school holidays?
Kinda.
Yeah.
We're going a couple of days early,
Yeah.
But we're going for 2 weeks.
Yes.
And we stay at this same hotel. It's what Andy and I never thought we'd do as, you know, proud international adventurer travellers.
Yeah.
We're not going to go to Bali and stay at a hotel and sit by the pool for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This is our 3rd year.
Really?
It's our 3rd year. Same hotel, same length of time. I said to him the other day, I can't even really rationalise it because, yeah, I've been complaining about a bit of tiredness for some reason, but I'm not actually got that built up because he's been doing all our training really.
yeah.
I don't have that built up. I need
a
break,
holiday.
right?
Yeah.
Normally when I arrive in Bali, it's so relaxing. It feels like I've run 100 kilometres an hour into a concrete wall.
Yeah.
And the first 2 days I'm like, huh. And then I go,
Yeah.
but I reckon I should be pretty good off the bat this time.
Right.
And we were saying, it was so funny, we were talking to someone else about how we do it there and everyone's really friendly because they know us and people don't normally stay at this hotel for 2 weeks. Whenever we go and they say, how long are you here for? And we say 2 weeks. They go, 2 weeks, you know. So we get to know everyone. Anyway, Andy's got a reputation now for being a bit grumpy because he's introverted naturally.
Yes.
When he goes on holidays, he just wants to read a book and not talk.
Oh, okay.
But, of course, when we're at the hotel and the staff know us, like we go down to breakfast and they go, good morning, and we go, good morning, and me and Sam are super happy and saying it, and I always parrot them accidentally because I pick up everyone's accent. And then they go like this, good morning, Mr. Andy.
Oh, they tone it down to him.
They tone it down and they
beautiful.
go, how are you, sir? And he says, good, thank you. And then they turn straight back to me and Sam and go, what are you doing today? And we're like, we're going swimming. And they're just gorgeous. We love it there. And when we get there, they're so wonderful, right? They just know how to look after guests. We get there, and last time we got there, on the mirror, they'd painted on welcome home. Yeah.
Oh.
And then they give us, all that towel animals, like are famous in
I love
Asia.
towel animals,
But they'll bring us special desserts. They'll write us notes. They'll say, we hope you had a good day today. And they'll know where we went. And
Yeah.
they're just beautiful.
That's awesome.
They're beautiful. And our driver, if anyone needs a good driver for Bali, because Bali's gone down a lot, I think a lot of people now are going to Japan, and I think it's a bit tricky for the Balinese drivers. And our driver, Dewa, who's gorgeous, he and I actually, he doesn't really like me. It's hilarious. I've used him for coming up 18 years.
He doesn't really like you.
No.
But you used him for 18.
I can't help
Please
it.
explain.
Well, he's nice looking.
Yes.
And, I'm shallow. And he's a good driver and he's good at speaking English. He and Sam get along like a house on fire. And I've actually got a photo of him because if Andy and Sam aren't around and it's just me and him, he just immediately stops smiling and starts looking at his phone.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm so used to it now that I just say to him, I know you don't really like me, Doa. And he laughs. He goes, no, I do, but he doesn't. Because I used to go with him, my old boyfriend Sven, and Karen, and he loves, so Karen was his favourite, my old friend Karen. Then he likes Sven, and then in those days I was pretty sort of anxious and uptight, and I'd talk to him a lot about where we were going and which way we were going. This is like 20 years ago. I was in a very different mental state. So the first Tamara he met was a pain in the ass.
Right. Yes.
And even though I'm much less so now, he's a pretty cool cat.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, there she is. But he's grateful to me because I give him friends to go driving with him, and I overpay him, and I bought his mobile phone for him.
Okay.
So he's grateful for me. Oh, Dewa. Anyway.
So 2 weeks sitting by the pool reading books.
2 weeks sitting by the pool. Of course, I can't just read books. I have to start writing my book.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, fascinating. So I haven't said much about it here. I spoke to a book coach. A lot of people have said to me, where's the book? Where's the book? And I was like, I assume they're thinking of like some sort of humorous-y kind of memoir-y kind of book. But then when I go into a bookshop and I see a memoir by someone who's not famous, I kind of feel like vomit. I don't know whether I'm just being mean to myself or whether it's how I actually feel, but I kind of don't want to hear about Joe Blow's experience of life. Like RuPaul's memoir, that's one thing.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Anyway, so I'm talking to this book coach and we're having a great time. We're connecting well. I liked her. I liked her confidence and her experience. And I said, oh, look, this is the kind of thing I think I'd write, and I've written a little bit of this topic and a little bit of that topic, and I always thought I'd write this kind of humorous travel/life book. And she goes, I've only ever said this to one other person, but I'm thinking for you, fiction. And as she said it, I got this, and then I got that expansive feeling.
Yes.
And I was like,
The truth has been spoken.
fiction. And I've never written fiction since I was 12 in primary school. I was pretty damn hot back then, but that was 40 years ago. And I don't know what I'm doing. So I had this really fantastic feeling. Then she sent me, we had our next meeting, and she sent me my development book. And you basically go through and think about what you're going to write. And one of the first things you have to say is, what's the plot?
Yeah, right.
Who's the protagonist? And I'm like, what the actual F? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So then I fell in a screaming heap immediately because everything I've ever done in my life has come naturally. So I was academic at school because I had a good memory, natural. As soon as you had to apply yourself, chemistry, math, stuff like that, upper high school, my grades were not quite as impressive. Then I go and do something that I'm pretty good at, marketing and PR. Then I go and become a customer service salesperson, natural, done it my whole life. Then I do training. I'm a natural trainer, natural speaker. Yes, I had to put in a little bit of effort, but... not much. And then someone says, do a podcast. I come here, sit down, and like Alvin said, is it really a job for you? Have you guys supporting me? Not a worry in the world. I come here and talk about whatever the hell I want, right? But fiction. And I actually feel like my instinct is there is something about this process that needs to happen, should happen, is good for me for it to happen. And the process is one of a combination of vulnerability at not being good at it, discipline in keeping trying, being able to get stuff wrong.
Yes.
Learning about something new that I know nothing about.
Yes.
Feels right.
Yeah, it does.
Are we going to get a
Yay.
result? Oh, no idea. And that part's...
Yeah. Well, it's the experience. It's the growth. It's the... Yeah.
Feels right.
Yeah.
Feels right. It actually feels like I'm 51, it's time to grow up. That's how it feels.
Really?
It feels like, it feels like I think you're old enough now to challenge yourself, actually take a risk of failing, take an actual risk and see what's actually in you that can come out with some more effort.
Yes. Oh, I love that for you.
Good, because I always like what your thoughts are as I say an idea,
Yeah.
because I think, what's Danielle going to think? And when you say that feels right, then that helps me feel like that's right too. Because I think that's right. You and I were talking earlier in the year and I said, I really feel like I'm meant to have a rest. Some people might think that's an excuse or I'm sabotaging. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like I'm meant to leave a space. You agreed. I felt good about that. Now it feels like, that's enough space, sister. Let's have a go.
Yes.
And, of course, I'm in this wonderful position that I feel so lucky about. I was talking about with Beck the other day. Because Andy and I took a lot of risk and dealt with a lot of stress, more than I ever have before, to get this business going, and then have done good work and have gained a good reputation and have enough work, I've got this luxurious ability to sit with you here, to play with this idea of writing. I feel so lucky. Like, part of me feels proud of myself or acknowledges that the reason I can do it is because of what we've done before and the risks we've taken. But I also am a very big believer in everyone's doing their best. So I do feel very lucky that my best led to this, if that makes sense.
Agree, yeah.
Like, still feel really lucky, like it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And then if I want to not worry too much about getting it right or having to succeed with it, I don't know if I told you this, but I've been playing with the idea that I'm semi-retired.
Yes.
It's really freeing.
I was just working on a clip for that from the other episode
Was
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, I find it so freeing because it's hilarious for one.
Yeah.
Even though people I work up with on the mind,
really good sense.
they hope to retire at 45.
Yeah.
I don't think I would actually retire as in not making money. I sort of see myself working till I'm 70.
Yeah, agree.
But into what is it, psychologically, if I say I'm semi-retired and I'm trying to write fiction, that is fun and free.
Yes.
If I say this book has to do well as a part of that old story of mine, it's constrained and heavy.
Yes.
So I only thought of this morning, but I reckon that Lockie healing has had ongoing benefits. I'll tell you why. You know my friend Betty?
Yes.
She wrote to me. I know. We love Betty.
We love Betty.
Join us here, Betty. Come to Perth.
I've never met Betty, but I feel it.
Do you know what? I want to go over. I've got this secret plan to do a cruise to New Zealand before Christmas.
Secret plan.
Yeah.
We need theme music for every time.
I've got a secret plan. And then Grayson puts in ding. I don't know if he can do that. I'm looking at him.
He wasn't even listening.
I'm going to throw a mug across the room.
I'm really not. My pleasing with how do you say my pleasing with him? No, gratitude's not the right word. Like, my appreciation for him never diminishes. Doesn't matter what happens. I mean, if the tape never started rolling, maybe.
Maybe.
But even then, it'd just be a blip.
So we
Love
love
you, Mercedes. Haven't spoken for a while.
we love Betty. You've got a secret plan.
Secret plan. Secret plan is, so Betty's connected to the secret plan. So remind me, there's two elements of the Betty chat. One is I was joking, get her to over here because she wants to talk to both of us.
Oh.
Yeah, not
Both
just
of us?
Both of us. Yeah.
What a
Yeah,
privilege.
Yeah, I've had a number of people say, you guys are great. And I'm like, I think we're becoming more of a duo. We always have been a duo, of course. But, yeah, she said, I want to talk to both of you. And she said, do you think we can get Danielle over here and you guys can come up and see us because they live in the Blue Mountains, her and her wife. Oh, not wife yet, but same as 30 years. And I was like, that'd be so fun. That'd be awesome. Anyway, I want to go on this New Zealand cruise. I've started doing research. It's early December to just before Christmas. I thought I could go and visit her there then. Now, that's one part of the Betty conversation. The other part was she listened to the Lockie chat and she and I had a conversation back and forth about that.
Yes.
Anyway, when she wrote another comment after that, she said, I really like your podcast. It makes me think. And then she put about 10 thumbs up. And because I'd talked to her about my old, and it does now starting to feel old, worry about recognition.
Yes.
She said, I know that'll never be enough likes because I'd sort of vulnerably shared with her about that, like you know about. Anyway, and I said, well, that was a very pleasing amount of likes. And then I thought afterwards, I actually think, I'm starting to think, whether it be when I'm interacting with certain people who would have previously triggered me or whether I'm thinking about playing with this book idea, I'm like, I actually think that thing I did with him and the childhood stuff out of it, I actually think it has, I knew it had done something good at the time, but I actually think it's having more lasting benefit.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. It's like you bring that stuff out from the darkness into the light.
Yeah.
And it just diminishes the power.
Yeah.
And it just kind of settles away. It's still there, but it's not as powerful.
That's how I'd say it too. It's still there. There's sort of a pattern there, but it's weakening, it's softening. It's like it's going like disappearing, but not. It's sort of like in what is it? Isn't it? What's that Marvel movie? It might be a spoiler where everyone blows away at one point. You have to watch a lot of Marvel to get to that. So I'm sorry if there was a spoiler, but it's kind of that feeling of where it's
I'm
there.
pretty sure everyone knows that plot.
I hope so. Otherwise, they're a bit behind. But I was like 17 episodes behind. Okay. We went up to Seabird a few years ago and I wanted to watch one of the Spider-Mans, I think it was. Was he Marvel, Spider-Man?
Well, yeah.
It was something. Anyway, I said, let's watch this now, me, Andy and Sam, family movie time. And Andy goes, you got to watch 16 movies before you can watch this one. And speaking of throwing things across the room, I had a tantrum. I was like, there's no way I want to watch 16 movies. This is ridiculous. They've got us as hostages, making $200 billion a year with these movies. Anyway, had my tantrum, started at movie one once I'd calmed down. Have had the time of my life ever since, loving all these things. I'm up to date, hence the blowing away thing. Yeah. Hope people can follow my circuitous route, but normally they can, right? Are you still with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so that's good. So anyway, I think I'm actually going to, he's got now on his LinkedIn, you know, with his changing life, he had an old thing when I interviewed him and he said, I'm not doing that anymore because I'm not doing FIFO mental health. Yeah. But he's now got on his LinkedIn that you can do what he did with me for 8 weeks. Yes. And I think I'm going to have a chat with him about what we might do. I don't know if it'll be 8 weeks, but I feel like with how it worked for me last time, with literally no privacy, a room full of people. It could work pretty well for other sort of stuff that might be a bit deep and dark. Yes. Grayson will edit this out if you don't want it, but it was so funny. I said to Grayson after the episode with Lockie, I said, you know the bit where he actually heals me? I think I might want to take that out for my own privacy. And, of course, we did end up taking it out. But then I talked about him on the last Friday 50-50 to give him the promo he deserved. Anyway, I said, I think I might want to take it out because I think it's a bit too private. And Grayson and I never actually talked about this after, so I don't even know if what I'm about to say is right. But he goes, yeah, you might want to take that out. And I think it's because he was saying I think he was saying, like, you're basically bawling, your face looks weird, you're hugging the guy. Like, he's like, that was a real spectacle. I would not include it myself. So I'll confirm or deny whether that's what Grayson was thinking, and then we can keep it or not keep it. But he was basically like, save yourself from having that on film. If you think your hair was your good thing before.
Out in the YouTube universe forever.
Forever. I did love watching it back, though, on the YouTube version and watching my face pre and post, because I do look a bit odd at the end, but I look so free and clear and like blinking into the new possible reality. It's fascinating to go through an experience like that, you know. So, yeah, that was awesome. But I think I'll get back in touch with him and see if we can do a bit more. I feel like there's a little bit more digging, and I feel like, you know, when I always say to people, do what calls to you.
Yes,
right?
agree.
Do what calls to you. And that at the moment I'm like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the one. I've had recommendations for other things and other people.
Yes.
But I'm like, nah, he's my guy for this gig.
For this season, for this time where you're at, building on what you did on your retreat. This is right for you. Yeah.
He is right for me.
Yeah.
And there's something about, I instinctively feel there's something about his Maori power. Maori's a really bad way to pronounce it. I think it's Māori. That was quite good, I think, how I just said it. Not to give myself kudos, but we normally go Maori, and it's really terrible. It's not that. But there's actually something I intuitively feel like the way he said, no, stop that. Start breathing. When I went to scatter off, he go, no, come back. Yeah. There's something about the way he talks about himself, his confidence. Like, you know, even coming out of that stroke saying forged by fire, having sentences like that he's willing to say about himself that are true, and he has there's something, he has a fundamental confidence that I think is his, but I also think it's cultural. He has a fundamental belief.
Yeah, yeah. It really feels like, and I think I said this on the last episode, when you've done that much self-evaluation and digging around and you've just become comfortable with who you are and where you're at right now, and you're sitting in that pocket of, I don't know what you call it. It's like the yogis that you meet that you're just like, oh, I love their energy because they're so like in their bodies and they know who they are and they're not BSing.
That's it.
And then from that place, he's helping.
That's right.
Yeah, and it was really powerful.
That's right. That's a perfect summary. He's not worried about anything other than what's the truth for him. And I'm running along behind him going, you will know this, Danny. I go in and out of it, right? So I'll get access to the freedom
that pocket.
of.
You sit in that pocket.
Yeah, that's
when
what
you're
you
sitting
say,
in that
the pocket.
I'm like, oh, she's in the pocket.
I know. It's such a lovely place to be too, because it's the ease of it. You know, it's just, there's a settledness and an ease and a lack of franticness, and it's just beautiful.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. That's where he's sitting.
I'd like some more pocket too. Thanks.
Yeah. You're getting. We're all
all
of
getting
us.
better.
Yeah, we're all getting more time in there, and you know, we don't want to go through the kind of thing he went through to get access to
it. Yeah.
I had this, I don't know whether I want to share this theory in case the universe goes, well, I'll teach you something different if you want to be a smart ass. So we'll see whether we keep this or not. But I was thinking the other day, and I was talking to Beck about it, and she said she feels like it as well. You know how there's a thing I said to one of my girlfriends years ago, and it's a famous thing, and she said, I always think of it, you know, when they say the universe will kind of whisper in your ear, tap you on the shoulder, hit you on the head, and then run you over with a bus until you get the message.
Yes.
I said to her, I never, knock, knock, I won't knock Grayson, get run over by the bus. I think it's because I look before the universe needs, like I get hit in the head for sure.
Yeah.
But I think I'm willing to look and feel what's the right next thing before the bus comes.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? The guy on the roof in the flood. Do you know that story about God? And, you know, and he goes, I prayed, and the boat comes along. He goes, no, God will save me. And then the helicopter comes, and then he drowns. He goes, why didn't you say, I sent a boat and a helicopter. And that was gold. Hazel Duffy is doing Facebook Reels. Have you seen her?
Oh, no, I have not.
So she's still in Ireland. I think she's coming back here. She's, as usual, on this beautiful developmental journey. and she's had this instinct to share sort of life lessons, and she's been
Really?
and she's been sharing them on these Facebook reels in her gorgeous way.
Yes.
Anyway, she shared one yesterday or the day before and said, I was scared to share this, but I want to share 5 things that have helped me with my mental illness journey. And the first one she shared was about her finding God.
Right.
Yeah, and she said, I'm scared to share it because some of you will immediately turn off, of course,
Yeah.
as people do.
Yeah.
But she said she was in a very desperate time of pain. As we know, she's had really serious pain.
Yes.
And she really felt God's presence and felt the feeling of you're okay and I'm here with you, and I'm paraphrasing horribly. Have a look at her on Facebook Reels if you're interested. But it was quite beautiful, and you can feel the support that belief has given her since then. And then she's going to say what's the number 2 to 5 on subsequent Reels over 5 days kind of thing, you know. But, yeah, it was quite beautiful. It's quite beautiful watching someone as special as her keep expanding into who she's going to be in the world and for people.
Yes.
I just want to share this
We've
thing.
had some beautiful souls in here, haven't we?
One of my best friends, Neen, who I had lunch with the other day, she said, I listened to your Hazel Duffy interview and it was so beautiful. And I said, it was, wasn't it? And what she was willing to share. And it was really nice because Neen said to me, you know, the way you ask questions and create the space helps with that. And I loved hearing that. I do feel that can happen. Oh, Hazel's literally the first feed on my Facebook. And it says, it gets pretty intense at the end, laughy face.
Yesterday I did a video.
Sorry, Grayson, you have to edit my stuff up as usual or leave it in and punish me. I'm happy either way.
He's nodding. He's like, you're going to get punished.
Are you leaving it in?
Like with this sage look, like it's not him that made 8 mistakes before he started.
I do owe him about 1,000. Now I want to show you this thing. I want to, you know, I talk about this issue with communication in the world, and so now what I do is a bit like I did with the beautiful Steve Biddulph. I challenge when I see people being vicious.
Yes.
Do you know how you and I have talked about going to Big Don's smoked meats in Bayswater?
Yes.
And, you know, you have to order the platter. People miss out all the time. So they put the menu out on a Monday.
Oh,
you have to order Tuesday 7 p.m. They sell out within about 30 or 40 seconds.
Yes.
And on his comments, people often say, failed again. I hope one day I'll, right?
I'll finally make it.
Okay, so here's this. They do this charity platter for Cancer Council, and they say that it's all free, the meat's all free, we're not taking any proceeds, bid on it, and you can come early on Saturday and eat it. So everyone's dream come true. The last I heard, it was at 2,100 for a platter for 4.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course there's a lot of people who are very keen to go there because it's famously great barbecue and it's really hard to get in.
Yeah.
Anyway, one guy writes as a comment to this charity post, very funny, the purpose of this is an all proceeds to the Cancer Council, and yet the more you eat these types of foodstuffs, the more likely you'll get cancer due to all the unhealthy stuffs. And how can you explain how much of proceeds will get to the Cancer Council, maybe in a percentage? So it was a really silly post because they'd already said we're going to give it all away. The bit about the meat part's actually a bit true. But, you know. But anyway, but then, you know, of course, it pissed the guy off. And when he gets pissed off, he's really vicious. And then everyone else jumps on board and it makes me sad.
Oh.
So he wrote, hey, dickhead, to the guy.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, we don't muck around here at Big Don Smoke Meats, which, of course, even the code BDSM is chosen for a reason, right? Everyone goes, what else do you get there? Anyway, hey, dickhead, 100% goes to Cancer Council, all meat donated. Thanks, fuckface. Grayson doesn't look shocked. You're more shocked. So then what always happens is everyone else gets on
I'm
board.
uncomfortable.
Me too. Everyone else gets on board and yells at the original poster.
Oh.
So they love this joint, they love the guy, they love how abusive he is, and then they all jump on board. And it's just hateful, right? It's hateful. I won't even read you all the things people say about him, but they just say terrible things. So they love the guy that runs the barbecue joint. They're sheep, like everyone is. They follow the popular opinion. No one stands up for anyone. It's ugly. I write, Big Don Smoke Meats, I can't wait to try your food, but he didn't call you a dickhead. It hurt my heart to read your reply and everyone jumping on the hate bandwagon.
Yeah.
That's why the world's no good at the moment. And in brackets I put, and great barbecue helps heal some of that pain. Love heart. Tamara Callahan, this is him replying, Big Don Smoke Meats. He called me a liar in the weirdest possible way, implied we're misleading people in a charity-driven initiative, worse than calling me a dickhead. I reply with the same energy I receive. If someone is kind, they receive kindness, but too many businesses let idiots rudely walk all over them. I don't think the world is this way because a barbecue joint called out a rude comment on Facebook. I wrote, Big Don Smoke Meats, yeah, I can see what you're saying, and I would have been pissed off too if I did this wonderful, generous thing and had someone question my motives and blame cancer on my food. Fair point, and I get you not wanting to lie down or take the blame for the world's problems from your reply, laughy face. I just find the comments supporting you so harsh and just cane anyone who dares disagree with you. I suppose I just wish you could be a bit more Canadian at times. He's from Canada and they're famously diplomatic and kind, right?
Yeah.
But it seems like us Perth arseholes suit you just fine. Looking forward to getting in for the famous feed soon. Good work bringing the barbecue joy. No reply to that. It's a very strange thing. It's a very strange thing to even get into a conversation like that. But like your reaction to it, it literally hurt my heart. Hey, dickhead, fuck off, fuckface. And he goes, well, I can rationalise that. He's being a dickhead. I'll be a dickhead. But that is why we're in the world we're in, right?
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
light can take out darkness. Darkness doesn't
Yeah.
fix darkness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
And that was a real escalation.
Oh, yeah. No, the last time something happened, this guy said, can I book for my family? And he wrote back something like, hey, dickhead, we don't take bookings. The guy wrote back and just went mental, like maybe he was a
Yeah.
meth addict. He
Yeah,
just went
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
This is the customer, and said,
Yeah.
I know where you are. I'm going to fucking kill
Yeah,
you, or
yeah,
something
yeah,
similar.
yeah.
And they had this back and forth. But the problem was, what then happened was, because he's such a popular guy, the barbecue guy, and people love his food, he says something rude, and then it is like torch, what do you call it when everyone gets the
Yes.
pitchforks and
Yeah.
torches? So the commentary went on, 250 comments. And you know what they did? They found the guy, literally pitchfork style, they found the guy on Facebook. The poor bugger was a member of something like Lonely People in Perth. He was a single dad and had said this profile, and it just got showed over and over and over. Look, you fucking loser. Look who he fucking is. And I'm reading, and as I had to stop reading,
Yeah.
I actually really want that barbecue, and I don't know if we should go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Because I get the
Yeah.
I get the guy's opinion, and
Yep.
like I said on my comment,
Yeah.
fair enough. That guy was an idiot, but you didn't have to call him names. You could have said, mate, read it again. I'm giving it all to charity.
Yep.
I'm offended that you
Yep.
said I wasn't. And I think he loves that people get behind him, and I think people love getting behind him and just spewing vomit on someone else. They're just so ugly and horrible, and people don't feel better being like that, actually. If they check in with themselves, they feel like the asshole they are. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep writing my little Facebook comments. Interestingly, he didn't call me names, right?
Yes.
Like, he just came back quite reasonably, because
Yeah.
I went to him reasonably.
Yeah.
He came back to me reasonably. If he was able to start the chain of reasonableness,
Yeah.
he'd not only start with the customer being respectful, but he would teach his customers not to be so horrible and teach them how to stand up for yourself, but I think he likes that he says it, and he gets a hell of a lot of love for having done it that way. People love it that he hates people.
Yeah. And I think that brings us full circle back to, I don't know, stuff you were talking about last year about what happened to you to make you that way. You know, like that person that got immediately on the defensive, immediately assumed they were under attack, immediately thought their best course of action was to go hardcore attack, you know, because what happened to them in their lives to make them
Well, I think they decided
respond
that's the
that
end
way.
of that. And especially if the fellow is from Canada, which I think he is, and he's decided to live in Perth, he's made a very clear cultural decision, because I don't know much about Canada except they're famous for saying sorry. They're famous for being gentle kind of people.
Yeah.
And maybe he just doesn't want to do that anymore, and he's come out with gusto. And then apart from literally, mine was the one comment that wasn't saying, you're right, mate, and good job the way you said it.
Yeah.
Out of 250, 500 comments.
Yeah. And I guess the 500 comments bolsters the algorithm, bolsters the page, sends the
Totally.
message that this is good marketing, this
Perfect.
is good PR.
Perfect.
So it's
He doesn't
very
say
confused.
that. He doesn't say that he's doing it manipulatively, and I'm not sure if he would know even if he is.
No.
But it absolutely works to build the popularity of his page.
Yeah.
His business and page are so much more popular because he abuses people.
Yeah.
He said, I answer kindness with kindness, and that's absolutely right. If someone just asks a simple question, he answers perfectly reasonably. But anyone dares challenge him or be rude to him, he totally takes them down. I think it is his true reaction. I don't think he's doing it for an algorithm. I think his
No,
business
I
is popular
agree.
enough.
I agree.
I think it's his true reaction, and he's like, I'm not going to take it. And he actually doesn't know that by speaking calmly and respectfully, it would take him to the next level of power.
Yes.
He doesn't know that bit.
No.
I might DM him and he can abuse me privately. But I might actually say to him, if you want to take things to the next level, I'm going to do that.
But
I'm going to
it's
private
a great
message him.
study of human behaviour and
So freaking basic,
reaction.
man.
Yeah.
That thing we've been talking about, that we're naturally apes, I'm getting more and more tired of it. The more I see it, the more I realise people are not very impressive at that fundamental level of how to rise above our monkeyness. I really hope people can have a look for themselves, be brave enough to look and go, I am being a hateful monster and I don't need to be. And I get that social media is a whole thing. It's like, people I say, be kind, you never know what someone's doing. Nice turn signal, fuckface.
Yes.
Like I'll turn into a monster in the car.
Yeah.
The argument is, well, people turn into a monster on social media. So, okay, maybe they're just using it like when people go to the footy and yell, they're doing it to get the bile out of their system.
Yeah.
But, geez, it's hard to read.
Yeah.
Like I won't be reading his posts now. I'll just, if we want to go and we decide we still want to go, we'll decide after I private message him, see what he comes back with. Or if he comes back. Because I can't really support him.
No, I won't go.
No.
I've already made my mind up.
No. But that's what one of the comments that comes up is people tease whoever's complained and says, next comment, completely unprofessional, will never attend. And then that gets like 200 laughy faces. And then everyone goes, yeah, well, you can just fuck off, dickhead.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
Pitchfork.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So I
soapbox, get off soapbox.
I don't like social media.
Get off soapbox.
Don't read comments.
No, it's great. I love my social media because the algorithm is beautiful.
Yes.
We don't get any of it pretty much. It's just because I follow
And I
barbecue.
think
That was
that's
my
the thing
mistake.
as well, the realization that you are the algorithm. People, you have to realize that what you're liking is giving you more of that. And that understanding that what I see is going to be different to what you see to a different person.
It's true.
You have to have that awareness of
They're
that
living
the
in a-
algorithm is working.
Yeah, they're living in a completely different world, right? Yeah, I it's good for me to remember that because when I think about people liking different things, I go, how on earth could you like that? And then I think that's all they're seeing.
Yes.
That's why Andy watches everything because he's really non-tribal and wants to get the full perspective. Fascinating. It's fascinating. And you go, oh, no wonder if you were only watching Fox out of America, you would feel very different than if you're only watching CBS.
Yeah.
Because we're just like, we know. We know. So I don't know. We just have to, I think those of us who can see what I'm talking about need to continually choose to rise above the ape. Not everyone can, and that's not their fault, and that's okay. But if you're listening to this and you go, I know exactly what Tamara's saying, and I am someone that will write on Facebook, fuck you, dickhead, have a look at yourself because that's not okay if you can see there's another choice. If you know how to be assertive, but you're not because you're not willing to be vulnerable, I haven't hopped off my soapbox at all. I hopped up and stayed up there. And I know who I am. I'm not doing it all perfect at all. It's like when someone...
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Did you ever see the thing about if you want to know what kind of person you are, do you put your trolley back in the... That was a great life lesson for me. Because no one's watching.
Oh.
You're never judged. The only reason you'd put your trolley back is because you're a good person.
Yeah.
And I had not been putting my trolley back. And
Yeah.
ever since then, the trolley goes back because
Yeah.
I'm like, far out, I'm a secret asshole. We already knew anyway. The whole thing's called 50-50, but
Yeah.
all
I feel
right.
like that could be the episode title.
What is
Secret,
it?
Secret asshole.
Secret asshole. That's awesome. And it will cover social media and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 quick points
Yes.
on the end.
Yes.
So update on the house. Last time we were having a very controversial discussion about our marriage and the house. Not our marriage, but our marriage is excellent. The other one that I'm formally in. And we had the conversation. I used the Brene Brown technique. What's the Brene Brown technique? What the story I'm telling
myself.
Yes, that works so well. So when I
la-di-da.
left here, I rang Andy and said, listen, I want to do this Brene Brown thing about the house. The story I'm telling myself is this. We both did it really well.
Oh, wow.
Really
Cool.
well. We ended up going to East West.
Yeah.
Had one of the biggest arguments we've had in years on the shop floor.
Love it.
A guy walked past and Andy just said, that guy just rolled his eyes at me because he feels so sorry for me that you're yelling at me. And he kept walking away from me. And I was like, don't walk away from me. It was mental. Anyway, that was the low point. But we got some more ideas about our furniture.
Yes.
And then the high point was we went to the house. I played the last podcast for Andy because I had to get his permission to air it.
I was
he was
surprised.
he was like, I'm totally fine.
Really?
He said, you're always very he said to me, you're always very balanced when you talk about me. And I was like, perfect. So we put it out and he was happy. Anyway, we went back to the house and on that episode I shared about him wanting to get rid of the wood heater.
Yeah.
And when we went back in the house, I said, did you get how important it is to me? And he goes, I get it. We can't, this is fundamental for you. Anyway, so at the moment, kumbaya, we're moving in at such a glacial pace that I think it'll be 6 to 8 months by the time we're in, not receiving any rent from that and still paying rent at our place, not the most logical decision. But then we went out, I saw one of our clients yesterday for lunch and I said, what I want to do is move the stuff I want to move and then get all the local people to come in and ransack the rest of the stuff. And he said, no, I want us to tidy first and then move what we want to move. We keep having the conversation with the client and at the end he goes, you know what I think we should do? I think we should move all our stuff we want to move and then get people to come and take what we don't want. And I said, that's an excellent idea, honey. I did that thing that 50s housewives say you have to do, like plant the seed and then let it be their idea.
Yes.
I didn't even know what happened.
Yes.
I looked at the client and she raised her eyebrows at me. I thought, shh. So that's what we're doing. So that might pick up the pace a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah,
Final
very exciting.
thing. There's a fellow, very famous YouTuber in Australia called Struthless. His real name is Campbell Walker, I think. He's an maybe drug addict or alcoholic or both. Fantastic guy, does a lot of great stuff with self-help, mental health. He's actually this beautiful illustrator and
I think
cartoonist.
that's where I've come
Oh
across
my
his
God,
stuff.
these
His
talented
illustrations
people.
are
He's an
very clever.
illustrator.
Yeah.
Oh, like what the hell? It's like when you watch one of those Win compilations or something and people are playing the ukulele while playing the drums with their feet and doing a Rubik's Cube and you go, I really have no talent. Like people are incredible. Anyway, he's like that. So he's a fantastic illustrator. He does these wonderful videos. Anyway, he's got a new book coming out called Doom and Bloom.
Oh.
Andy's ordered it, but he hasn't received it yet. On his last podcast, so he has like 1 million followers. On his last podcast, he said, my book people have told me I have to promote my book, Doom and Bloom, that's coming out soon. So if any of you have a podcast and want to have me on, but I contacted the guy and I haven't heard anything back.
Yes.
So I'll tell you what happened. I don't think I'm going to hear back because we're not well known enough. This is the only advantage to being well known, and this is what we have to decide. Do we want to get well known enough that famous people want to come on? Because that's the only thing that'll drive me now to be well known enough. Well, maybe also because I like what we say here and I want more people to hear it. But it's actually at this moment, it's more about can we get a good guest, you know? So he said, write to my marketing guy. So this is what I did. My name is Tam and I have a podcast here in Perth called 50-50 and then put the link. I talk about the good and bad in life, i.e. the 50-50, and my focus is solely on what my guest wants to get out of the experience of talking with me. Let's get real now, highlighted in green, because I'm sure you've had heaps of offers in caps. The cons of Campbell joining me is I'm only relatively new at podcasting, and it's a comparatively small podcast re numbers of listeners, when the whole idea from your side, of course, is to promote the book. I can only record on a Saturday or a Sunday as my AV guy is at Waffa here in Perth. Of Hugh Jackman fame, I put in brackets just in case he needed to know, and he's run off his feet Monday to Friday. The pros are I'm pretty cool and real and generous. I think Campbell would enjoy our chat. The followers that I have here in Perth are his exact kind of audience, as am I. We have a successful training, coaching and speaking business separate from my podcast, in brackets Discern, that I could also promote his book to. We've pre-ordered the book. Andy Cook, my husband, did some weeks ago. So then I did the presumptive close. So how's next Saturday, the 5th of April, around 3 p.m. your time? Thanks for reading and hopefully agreeing, and in brackets, and either way, thanks to Campbell and you for awesome work. It's an inspiration. We can't wait for the book.
Yes.
Heard nothing. Then I wrote back, I just had a brilliant idea. I'm going to mention him anyway, even if he doesn't come on. I'll wait till I've read it though, because that'll be better as a review. Thanks and best wishes with the promo. I'm like, what? I don't have to hold it. I don't have to be like Trump and tariffs, right? I don't have to hold him hostage.
No.
We're not big enough. Fair enough. I can still mention him because he's fabulous.
Yes.
And then once I've actually got the book and read it, we'll
review it.
We'll review it. There's another one, Your Mind is a Houseboat, or Your Head is a Houseboat. That's his first book.
Yes.
So I'll get that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's very cool. He's very cool. There's a lot of
agree.
good juice on his channel. That doesn't feel right promotionally, does it? We just finished talking about another podcaster who's got 1 million followers. But we're all about the heart, right?
We are. We really are.
We really are.
We really are.
And also, I looked yesterday. I was watching our own thing because I skew our numbers by listening to our own podcast, and I thought, we've really created a lot here. Like, it's felt so easy that I haven't really noticed. But we're up to episode 39 or something, and we've had all these wonderful guests.
We've had some amazing people, and it's been just such a joy to meet people. It's been awesome.
It's actually noticing when you've got the wrong lens on and you feel like you're missing something, you don't notice the good stuff. He actually mentions that. Campbell mentions it on one of his videos. You can't even hear that people have had a good time or you've created something useful. And we have.
We have.
We already
We've
have.
had so many fun Saturdays.
Fun Saturdays, so good, great people.
Yeah.
Grayson's put wrap up. I think he's had enough.
He's had enough.
Love you too, Grayson. Shall we go, Nee?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
See you next time.
See you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching. We'd love it if you'd like and subscribe.